What was the most ridiculous thing you got in trouble for at school? It was PJ Day. We were washing our hands for lunch. I accidentally got a little water on another kid's sleeve. Teacher flips out how I ruined the kid's expensive pajamas. The kid didn't even care. Did she think they were dry clean only pajamas? Complete opposite of my school. In grade 1, there was a day where everyone brought in their favorite stuffed animal. The teachers warned us not to bring valuable ones because there was a chance they could get damaged. I brought my favorite stuffed animal. The teacher's daughter and a boy in my class completely destroyed it, ripped it, cut it up, colored on it. I went to the teacher and told on them. They got absolutely no punishment for destroying my stuffed animal. The teacher reprimanded me for tattling and told me that I shouldn't have brought a stuffed animal that I cared about, since there was a risk of it getting damaged. Most of the teachers in the school were really awesome, but that one was decidedly not. I didn't get along well with her daughter, and she always took her daughter's side. Reading a book. Apparently the head of history found me sitting on a bench reading across from her office window, intimidating. Ooh. This reminds me that I got in trouble for holding a book. It was a book for adults, so that's probably why I got in trouble. But still, I was upset. I finally started to like books and they said not today. The book wasn't even inappropriate. Reminds me of when the history teacher said to read any book while he got the work sorted. I chose a book on Stalin since I'd never heard of him before and it was in the room. Teacher got mad that I was reading about Stalin, in a history class. Algebra teacher yelled at me for asking for help. He told me don't ask me. Ask your partner first. Then I turned around and asked my partner for help. He then yelled me at again, don't ask her. If you need help, ask me. This just confuses me. What was even going through that teacher's head? Was he high? In 3rd grade I got 10% taken off one of my tests for spelling my name wrong. When I went to go tell the teacher I knew how to spell my name, she sent me to the principal for smarting off. Yeah, I know how to spell my own name. This happened to me too. My parents wanted my name to be unique and went with an extremely uncommon spelling on top of a rare name. I didn't get sent to the principal, but my 1st grade teacher called a parent-teacher conference to impress upon my parents that I refused to spell my name correctly and I had a shitty attitude, because I 100% knew my name's spelling and I loved it, and I was frustrated with this dumb witch of a teacher who seemed to hate me for some reason. My mom was furious and chewed my teacher out for making her leave work early for something so stupid. Shockingly, that incident did not make my teacher like me more. Edit, since this is getting some attention, I'll add a sub-story. Before the parent-teacher conference, when my teacher refused to let me use my first name correctly, we negotiated that I could use my middle name. That's when I proudly told her my middle name is apostrophe. This led to her claiming I'm a liar on top of my shitty attitude. Edit 2, if you know a kid struggling with a unique name. The children's book Chrysanthemum is great. Was my favorite book for a long while after this incident. Reminds me of the substitute teacher skit from Key and Peele. Washing my hands wrong. My kindergarten teacher didn't like that I flicked excess water off my hands before reaching for the soap. She kept me there for a while until she finally gave up on me. Psycho. My pre-K teacher yelled at me for yawning after waking up from nap hour. She said sleep isn't supposed to make you yawn. I saw Dust Devil for the first time and said what the? I got in trouble for it. The teachers said you could have said a bad word. But I didn't, get over it. I woulda say okay then FCKU. Honestly, stuff like this happens all the time to me when I was young in grade school. I look back at it now and think of how much I want to provide an easy reasonable argument in defense, but I was just young, hurt, and didn't know what to say. Not me, but a friend. The entire room was talking while the teacher was trying to get people's attention. Nobody was listening no matter how hard she tried. Well, everybody except for the one black kid who was sitting there quietly. She ended up directing her anger at him, removing him from the classroom. He was the nicest fucking kid growing up too. Well, except for the one time when he threw his ruler, with his name on it, across the room, hitting the teacher. The teacher picked up the ruler, looked across the room where we were both standing, and then threw me out. This is something I will never understand. How can you get in trouble in school for something that has nothing to do with school at all? Dongmunga is getting top billing in my vocabulary for at least a week now. I doodled on my jeans in 10th grade and the assistant principal literally pulled me out of class and called my aunt to come get me. When she got there, he just started going off and pointing to me with "Look at what she did." My aunt just rolled her eyes and said, "She's 15, I don't know what you expected." Oh man, I forgot about art jeans. I had a pair that me and all my friends drew all over in Sharpie and pens. They were awesome. I wore them until they literally fell apart. LOL. Needing to use the restroom. Some teachers are straight crazy. Can I go to the bathroom? May I go to the bathroom? No, because I want to go. Yep. In 3rd grade, my teacher furiously grabbed my water bottle and confiscated it so I wouldn't drink any more water. It's so I won't need to go to the bathroom because I've already gone twice that day. I felt like I was in such big trouble. I was too embarrassed to tell my parents. Not putting my jacket and backpack in my locker. All of my classes were on the 1st floor and one end of the building. My assigned locker was on the 2nd floor and in the furthest corner from my classes. The administrators refused to move my locker. So pretty much every day this one teacher would write me up and I got a couple in school suspension for it. Finally, after a few meetings, I got the principal involved and she essentially told the teacher to leave me alone. Edit. Wow, didn't think this would take off like this. Glad to see I'm not the only one that went through this. My school only had lockers for P. We were assigned alphabetically and I was the last on my locker row, so I 100% knew no one was below/next to me, which meant the big locker would always be vacant unless I was using it. The system was arranged so that everyone used small lockers for gym clothes/deodorant until their P period, when they'd use the big locker next to their small one for their backpacks or whatever. So I just always kept my stuff in the big locker, which only I was ever going to use. Got found out, had to spend 4 hours in detention on a Saturday and had a referral on my record, which was like a step or two away from suspension. Edit. Other one was tardy sweeps. Randomly, a couple times a year they'd call a tardy sweep as the bell rang between classes. My hand was on the door to my class as the sweep was called. I'd been in the bathroom, I think. But it was my first tardy to that class, by 1 or 2 seconds. Boom, 4-hour Saturday detention. We had a girls' entrance and a boys' entrance at my secondary modern school, U. In 1972. I was 12 and proud of the result of my first visit to a proper grown-up hairdresser's, what we now call a mullet but back then was known as a feather cut and was extremely fashionable for both boys and girls at the time. I was in the crowd going through the door when a teacher roared, "You boy. What do you think you're doing?" Being very much a girl, I didn't take any notice until I felt the hand of impending doom on my shoulder. It was my own form teacher who didn't recognize me without my waist-length ponytail. What is the point of gendered entrances? In 7th grade, one of my best friends was accused of swearing in class. He was a bit of a troublemaker, so when the teacher heard the bad word she automatically assumed it was him and told him to leave. The kid behind him then raised his hand and said that he swore, and apologized. The teacher accepted his apology and then sent my friend to the principal's office. My friend was very confused at this point and asked her why he had to go when he had done nothing wrong. She then snapped a ruler in half and threw it at him, and told him for the destruction of school property. That, I would have to say, is the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen someone get in trouble for. More. I was a bit of a troublemaker. I once was called into the principal's office in 3rd grade and was told I was getting a referral, missing recess, because I had been standing instead of sitting when sledding down the sledding hill, against the rules, during morning recess. Thing is, I had missed that earlier recess because I had been serving a referral for one reason or another. In the principal's office, I pointed this out to the principal and she shrugged and said that somebody had done it and she had been told it was me, so that was the end of it. I missed another recess. I became a lawyer. As a middle school teacher myself, this kind of shit makes me so angry. Like, why do you even become a teacher if you hate kids that much? Edit, I think it does make sense that most teachers didn't start out this way. And in some places it's almost like the system is designed to turn teachers cynical and burn them out. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.